Hey Jet Setters, and thanks for joining me on Takeoff. I'm your host, Tara Shapansky, and today we are doing a street art tour of Barcelona, Spain. Are you guys ready to go? Let's take off. Just like always, I appreciate your love and support by dropping a comment down below. Be sure you like, share, subscribe. Thanks guys!
Quickly gentrified, and street art is looked at as like a underground dodge. Tags are literally just like little unique, almost signature-like things that tie that artist to that work. So for example, if I'm ever doing street art or any graffiti, I do like J, and then a star is the A, and then a Z, you know? So that person knows, hey, this is Jazz's artwork. Unfortunately, gangs and drug dealers also started adopting this as well, and they used it as almost markers of gang territory where other gangs could not cross, where they could cross, who was safe here, and also drug dealers use it as a way to kind of signal what drugs could be sold, what times could be picked up, etc., right? Because of this, unfortunately, the police really cracked down on it and heavily criminalized it, and this is also why you see a lot of like 1312, a lot of anti-establishment, a lot of like anarchist symbols within the graffiti culture, right? He was like, hell yeah. You got money?
Yeah. Get that bread.
So this is actually done by a man named Space Invader. And the Space Invader is a French Parisian artist. And basically he goes around, in every city that he goes to, he leaves these little mosaics around, right? He dresses up in all black and goes in the dead of night. Kind of like ninja style, yeah? And he thinks of himself as a hacker that is spreading the virus of mosaics around anywhere that he goes. The coolest thing for me, particularly about the Space Invader, is that he normally puts these mosaics up in more or less impoverished neighborhoods, working class neighborhoods, because he believes that there's a bit of classism involved in being able to see art. Like going up to him, where will you hide when the revolution comes? And yeah, like on walls, he's like, I don't know, probably in my bed, under my bed. And she's like, I'm not saying that. And it's similar like to the bull in, what's it called? Where is it? Yeah, Wall Street, yeah. That. It's similar to that. So if anyone wants to give the balls a little tickle, feel free. If anyone wants photos with the cat as well, I'd be happy to take them for you. I'm gonna tickle the ball.
Some good luck.
Right? Made out of cigarette butts, okay? So this was done by a local artist here who spent about 6 hours picking up all of the cigarette butts that he could on the street, and he was able to put together this little like flowing river of cigarettes. And it obviously is a testament to the fact that we are polluting our earth, right? Do I believe that individuals have like their own, yeah, they should take care of the planet. It's been painted over, but normally these masks have a lot more detail and they're like glazed looking, you know? And in each one of these places where we find a mask, there was a horrible, horrible story that happened in that specific place, on that street, etc., right? And this mask is no exception. Ooh, it looks like the sky is going to drop out, but it's all right because we're going that way. So basically, in each one of these masks, something awful, horrible, terrible happened. There are about 60 around Barcelona, apparently. And legend has it is that if you follow the 60, then you will be able to meet Zozo, which is the right hand to Satan, and it's a huge mask in which a young pregnant girl was crucified and killed. She used to be working in the sex work industry, but it wasn't going so well for her, so she resorted to abducting children in this area, right? And so she would lure them into her home with like promises of candy, whatever have you. And what she would do with these children is she would grind them, she would kill them, she would grind their bones up, drain their blood, torture them, and then sell these body parts as lotions, potions, salves, drinkable things, with the promise that you could appear younger, Some people also say that the fresh blood of young people is the purest form of blood and it will give you drug-like symptoms. So these are all legends, right? But she was actively selling these things. And a lot of the things that she sold were to the elite classes, the people that had the money to buy them, right? Member of the LGBTQI+ community. And this in the 80s was like the height of the AIDS and HIV crisis that we were going through literally around the world. You see the needle that is wrapped up within the snake. Obviously this includes the transmission of HIV and AIDS. You have the scissors that are cutting the snake like in half, more or less. And if you look closely, it's two people actually doing like this with the scissors. So that speaks to the communal power that we do have as a community to really nip this in the bud and stop it and protect one another. You see on the very end of the snake's tail, the condom, it speaks for itself. My mom would always say, just wrap it before you tap it, just do that, yeah? Just follow those rules. I would also say be very careful in Barcelona if y'all are engaging in any sexual intercourse or anything like that. We do have a very high STD and STI transmission rate here in Barcelona. And this speaks to the taboo surrounding HIV and AIDS at that time, right? No one wanted to talk about it, no one wanted to hear about it. People were literally scared of it, they didn't want to see it, they didn't want to be around it, right? And that is why it was unchecked for so long, right? And then at the very end it says, todos juntos podemos parar el SIDA, which means all together we can stop AIDS. They don't have a face, they're just all black, right? And they are called Xupet Negre. This is the artist name and also the actual pieces of art themselves, right? And Xupet Negre just means black pacifier in Catalan, right? So if you can see here, the X, it's almost like French almost, right? So like Xupet Negre. And this artist, he rose to fame in the early like 2000s. In the early 2000s. Yeah, it has to be because so if y'all want to just stand on that wall, feel free. Y'all will be looking at me and I'll be talking to y'all. So he was an owner of a lot of gay bars and gay nightclubs, and it was just, he provided a space for everyone to peel vegetables. We have also a refrigerator inside where you can take what you need, you leave what you don't. We have card games for children as well. There's like free childcare. They teach defense courses. You can come here for lawyer information if you're undocumented or need any sort of legal help. And this is just really a community center where everyone is. Ending on a much lighter note, y'all know what these are because they were on my Gothic tour and I stopped to tell them about it. But do y'all remember Cornbread and Cynthia, the story of Cornbread and Cynthia? Don't worry, honey. So, Cornbread and Cynthia, yes? What he did was he started picking up cans around all of Barcelona, painting them over and writing beautiful messages on them and leaving them around the city. I always say, like, I don't know what he thought was going to happen from this. Like, she was going to be like, oh yeah, like, those are for me.
All right, Jet Setters, that ends our street art tour in Barcelona. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Thanks, guys.